But
What are we waiting for?
No. Wait. No. The thing is that I've been watching like game developer bios and stuff, and this person did that, and I don't remember which game was it. It wasn't Hollow Knight because those are two Australian guys. Fuck, I don't remember which one was, but it was interesting. The thing in my case, I'm not gonna be able to do that right away because I want to do the game developing in September because I really have a lot of other projects in between. And after September, I'm like, okay, I want to start the Unity thing.
Up your music course and stuff like that. That can be what you do in the collab stuff.
Yeah, and there's
some feedback about, like, même là ce qu'elle disait, ce cours que tu fais en juillet, tu veux le faire en juin, un mois, le tester, etc.
Ouais, je pourrais peut-être pas tous les vendredis, mais un vendredi sur deux, je pourrais venir.
Mais le plus régulièrement on le fait, le plus on a, même si on est juste une demi-douzaine, une dizaine. Chacun fait son truc. On a je te donne du feedback sur le cours, peut-être en termes de workflow, ce genre de choses. Enfin,
oh, you have or I played with the. Don't worry about it. I can. Okay, so. And I hope you're.
You need to choose instead of Montreal, click on LA. It's gonna be less. Heavy on the.
Did you know that the Olympic Stadium was built for the next Winter Games? I love the little serpents with the little teeth.
But did you see? It's like the snake and the apple, but it's a yin and yang.
Oh, I saw the yin and yang, but I thought it was two snake kissing.
No king shaming.
Okay.
But yeah, that's not surprising.
Okay.
Like, I can understand what you mean. So yeah, in LA, that's actually I'm kind of slowly recreating the hubs from Bloodlines, the game from 2004. So you had downtown Santa Monica, Chinatown, and Hollywood as hubs.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of putting them all in one scene to recreate the vibe of the game from back in the days, but I want to put some more modern stories, maybe doing like a couple of dialogue that I've done was about some guy from the original game kind of believing that the Prince of LA had died in 2004 when the game got released and stuff, but they're like realizing that it's still kind of alive.
Which game is that?
Vampire Bloodlines.
Oh, this is the one that you talked about. I had never played it. Never.
People have, but that's like doing a playtest. There's a video that explains the production drama and why it didn't get much traction when it got released because it was released on the same day as Half-Life 2, blah blah blah. All that stuff, discovering about the project, the blah blah blah, it's part of that kind of Friday collab thing. Even if it's just to get you to understand a bit more where my project is coming from, what I'm trying to do, like getting to discover all that is kind of what those Fridays afternoons are about.
Yeah.
And it's like it's the same for the AR stuff. For you like starting to understand how you envisage the app to do the augmented reality recognition to build in Unity. It's all about sharing those ideas and like, okay, I can do that easily within Unity to do the basic stuff. And I did like quite a few years ago. I was like, oh, I want to try to do an image recognition in Unity to just put an image that is recognized in the app, and it worked quite well. Like it was quite easy to put together.
Can I go there?
Yes.
I have to take another route.
The collider, but not. It's a bit slow. Right? On the side, there's no colliders through the walls.
Yeah, here?
Yeah.
Oh. Oh. That is the exact opposite of an invisible wall. This is a wall that is not invisible, but it's not a wall.
But that's the bugs that we are chasing when we actually do testing and stuff.
That is a visible not wall.
A visible not wall, indeed. But so that, for example, is supposed to be the mention. Like there's one quest that Terry's Verman is actually sending you to get like a pendant in an hotel by the beach, and that's kind of a separate scene. But I want all that to be in one scene, so
Oh.
it's you're in the
Oh.
water. So it's like more consistent, and because in Bloodlines, the game from 2004, there's no day-night cycle,
Okay.
but in mine there is. That's kind of the main mechanic, to have that kind of day-night cycle. Oh, you're being courageous there. I don't know what you're doing, but you might fuck it up.
Really? Do you think I'm gonna bug out the game? Nah.
Because there's no terrain there, so if you fall under the actual water trigger, you would actually fall
For,
of the world.
Oh
Anyway.
no, I don't want to do that because there's like a space, like I don't like. I'm afraid of that type of. You know what? I love stars and I love astronomy,
Okay.
but I have like this really weird fear of like looking up
Okay.
in a very starry night, and I think it's beautiful. But actually, it's like I don't. When I was a kid, one of my favorite books was Carl Sagan's Cosmos, right?
Okay.
But when it came to like pictures, which were actually drawings of planets or galaxies,
Yeah.
I would like close the book. I was like, fuck,
Wow.
I don't know
You're
why.
scared of the infinite.
Maybe just
This is
things that are too big.
the Cthulhu
Cthulhu.
fear of the immense.
Maybe.
So yeah, like right now, like it's quite early. Like so, if you press escape,
Oh.
that's it. It's 5:30.
Oh, then you. Ooh, okay.
That's all the social medias ish too, but don't click on it because it's actually gonna open in Chrome, the
Oh.
profiles and stuff.
Okay, good.
So
okay.
just like it's 5:30.
Yes.
And time is actually an hour is a day, I believe. Yeah.
Okay.
And so in Bloodline, there's no day-night cycle, but as a vampire game, it's a fucking great mechanic to use.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah, because you can trigger events and
and just like you're not gonna do the same.
the world is more
quest
alive.
if it's daytime or nighttime. Just
Yeah,
going from
exactly.
point A to point B is like a
Ooh.
completely different game.
What is this?
It's a church. It's a basic church, but like, so I've used AI to
I-
generate those textures, for example.
I really like the.
Yeah.
I really like the
The
effect
stained glass, huh?
of stained glass. Can
Yeah.
can I go in?
Yeah. So if you use E, you can actually interact with doors.
With
and
doors.
people,
Okay,
but there's
perfect.
nothing in it for now. But like
Okay.
that's like right now I'm
Wow.
just doing the layout of the city, so I haven't populated anything.
And what is? Do you know what the main story is going to be about?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So in Montreal, because that's kind of the side project of LA to recreate that those herbs from Bloodlines. But my original idea was to kind of do a similar thing, like, but instead of taking place in LA, I wanted to make it take place in Montreal. And because I want to have French and English as part of the quests, the dialogue, so you can like do a quest the first time in English, but then like the second time, oh, maybe I should do it in French, and maybe have different outcomes.
Mm-hmm.
So depending on the language you choose, you're not gonna have the same experience.
Of course.
And because I'm here in Valencia now, and I want to actually add some Spanish, LA would be a great way to actually have English and Spanish
Mm-hmm.
together.
Yeah.
And and Valencia could be a mix of French and Spanish.
Okay.
So the three locations kind of make sense for the mix of those three languages.
But do they have a purpose in the game? Like what I haven't understood, the role that those.
Having a different experience. So if someone, for example, a character in Montreal is more like French speaking, but you speak to them in English, they're gonna be like, oh, fucking roast beef.
Oh,
like,
good,
I'm-
good, 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 good,
you know
good,
what I
good.
mean? Like, that
Yeah,
can be
yeah, yeah,
part
yeah.
of-
Ooh, that's
I
interesting.
know, huh? It's really cool. Like a lot of people are like, oh
Well-
wow, I never seen that before. But like,
Well, it's like a faction.
yeah, kind of.
It's like
But
in
based
in
on the
Fallout.
language you choose.
If in Fallout you are part of the Brotherhood of
exactly.
Steel and you talk to someone from the
They're gonna be
Brotherhood
like,
of Steel,
oh, you traitor,
not-
like, what
it's
are you doing
yeah,
here?
it's
blah,
not
blah, blah.
it's not gonna be a
Hey.
streetwalker. Salut, ça va bien? Ouh, d'accord, d'accord.
So you have the
Ça va bien et
choice,
toi?
and it's up to, like, because people
Oui,
might
super,
want
tu
to
as
use their
m'accordé. Ça dépend, t'as
original,
besoin de quoi?
their mother tongue. And so, like, once you choose French or English or Spanish, then the whole dialogue continues in that language. But then, if you choose a different language, then you have a different outcome, a different relationship with the person,
Yeah.
the NPC.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
kind of a cool feature that I haven't seen anywhere that is actually making the language part of the game mechanics.
Yeah. It's oh, I
Yeah,
want to
that's
talk to
someone.
you.
She's
I can't.
like no. And like
Do I have full damage? Oh, what?
No.
I got a question. The blurriness of the background, is it because the render distance, or is it an effect?
I can't even remember how it's set up. It's probably because back in the days, like I've changed it not so long ago, because back when when I added the post processing, like I did a vignette, and I played with that a bit. But like when you were actually getting up close, things were blurry, so I might have changed it. But because it's far away, like I want, because it's not, AAA standards, of course.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't like. I actually like having that blur. So it's kind of when the level of detail, when you get closer, like it actually populates something.
Yeah.
It's actually making it less weird.
That was my question. Like, is it because of the render distance, and you've
A mix of both. I like
you
that
can
it's a
you
bit
can tell
blurry.
it as I understand, because I'm not a game developer, but as I understand, you can make the game less heavy if
Yeah,
the
exactly.
render distance actually is like, okay, you can render that as a cube, but when you get near it, oh no, it's a house, and then you have like,
So you can manage that by
What is
changing
that?
the mesh. So that's graffiti in Montreal, actually.
oh wow,
But that's kind of like there's quite a lot.
I like
And
it.
I'm adding some more, like one bit at a time, to have like a more diverse selection of graffiti. But like on nearly every building, there's one graffiti
I like it.
somewhere, and like that's kind of the cool thing of, because it's randomly assigning it when you load the scene.
Really?
So, yeah. So whenever you actually load the scene, like
So everything here is randomly generated, the terrain?
No. The scene is set up manually, but then the graffiti changes every time.
Why?
Just to make it more random and like more different every time you play. Because the main, for example, in Bloodlines, you can choose up to the 7 clans from the vampire lore in the Camarilla. And so you can play as a Nosferatu, a Toreador, a Malkavian, blah blah blah. And they all have a different way of interacting with the world. The Toreador are more social. The Nosferatu, you actually can't walk in the street without scaring people, so you need to use the sewers a lot.
Yeah.
And that's kind of a feature as well. In Montreal, I have a sewer map under the surface, so when it's daytime, you can use the sewers as well, but it's a completely different labyrinth.
Yeah.
And so Bloodlines, you play as the Malkavian first, and then you play as the Toreador. It's not going to be the exact same game, but because it's a long game of 30 hours-ish, like if you want to play as a Toreador or as a Ventru or as a Gangrel, you need to do the whole fucking campaign again and again. And like just to change the gameplay a bit.
Oh, look at that one. Oh.
For 30 hours, it's kind of a lot to replay.
No,
And that's
okay.
why my game has a limit of 4 hours. So
Oh, really?
So it's a one sitting kind of game.
Okay.
And because the clan selection is being done through the choices you make at the beginning, you actually don't really know what clan you're being assigned.
Oh.
Because that's another thing that I didn't really like with Bloodline. When you get turned into a vampire, you don't choose who is your sire.
Oh,
you
really?
You get turned, well, you could,
It's random.
but right now, like in my game, it's not random, it's based on the choices you do.
That you make, but in Vampire...
In Vampire the Masquerade or in Bloodlines, you actually choose at the beginning.
Okay.
You can do, there's like a kind of questionnaire, and you can answer some questions, and they would assign a clan to you. But I'm like, I don't want to start knowing what clan I'm gonna be.
It's 8 p.m. right now.
AM.
8 a.m.?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
really dark.
It's a bit dark. but that's like,
Is it gonna be daytime anytime soon?
yeah. Well, it's getting there. It's
Okay.
just like, and that's like I don't always control that. For example, that's when Unity
Oh, look.
did an update. What's it?
Yeah. Está amaneciendo, hein? C'est la lumière
Yeah, du jour mais,
du jour. Et j'aime bien les nuages aussi. Ils sont bien.
yeah, but
Non,
that's
t'aimes pas?
they could be better. But
How-
I like
how do
that's
you
not a
optimize
big
that?
deal right now. I don't give a shit about clouds
Okay.
as long as they look a bit
It-
cloudy.
Yeah. And can I ask you questions like?
Yeah, of course.
So, do you? What's your next step with this game?
Well, the point would be to add more subquests and dialogues and voices in Montreal to kind of make that scene and that whole section a bit more complete with more stories and stuff. And because I want people to, I kind of started to set up an airport scene. So at the end of Montreal, you would be told by the end boss, not the boss, because there's no fighting. I don't give a shit about fighting. I care about the story. And so like you go through the stories, you blah blah blah, and like I want to nearly have like that. I've kind of left that idea on the side, but based on the choices you make, the language you choose to use most of the time, I nearly want to have 6 different potential sires.
Mm-hmm.
That is kind of the first main goal of the Montreal scene, finding who's your sire and stuff. And because you don't know, you might have a different clan every time. I
Mhm.
want it to nearly be 6 different sires,
Mhm.
potential sires, and those potential sires would actually lead you to a different scene. So, for example, the Ventrue would lead you to LA.
Mm-hmm.
The Toreador would lead you to Spain. Blah blah blah.
Okay. To Valencia, for example.
Yeah, for example. And so the point would be to have that more developed and with more dialogues and voices and stuff. And then that would be having an episode 1 complete.
Okay.
And then, based on the inspiration,
Okay.
make the same for LA, the same for Spain, or like, because I would like to have some of the, because the different clans, like in Bloodlines, it's kind of fictional. It's like the Ventrue, the Toreadors, all that is kind of out of nowhere. They kind of created that when they created the game in 1991. But instead of, to avoid legal issues and to make it a bit more educational as well,
Mm-hmm.
and ground it in reality, I actually kind of tried to figure out which vampire law in real life was the most prevalent and stuff. And so, for example, you have the Lamia from Greece, or the Lamashtu from Mesopotamia.
Oh my god.
And so I'm trying to make it fit with historical
I want to get in.
crazy shit that people believed
Mhm.
200, 300 years ago.
Okay.
And so I want to, have those different sires to kind of lead you to Greece, to Mesopotamia, to India, blah, blah, blah.
Oh wow.
But that's, that's a never-ending project.
It is.
But
I mean, this is a year. How long have you been working on this?
a long time. And because, I'm by myself, like back in the days, I was learning Unity.
Yeah.
I was setting up the story.
What did you start with something so vast? This is vast.
I know, but that's why, like, it can be a really cool, like, and people tell me, like, what the fuck, are you crazy? And I'm like, yes, I am.
Yeah, pretty much.
But I, like, the scope kind of, like, I'm expanding the scope one bit at a time. And I know that having 6 endings for the part 1 in Montreal is already a big thing. Like, but then
Wow.
creating the different location for those 6 endings to lead you somewhere else. I'm kind of, it's but because I enjoy doing it. I don't care about
Yeah.
creating.
Yeah, this is a love of work.
Yeah.
A work of
course.
love. This is a work of love because
Yeah.
the thing with that's I've been like watching all these devlogs and stuff, and all of them are like, well, you should begin with something really easy. But then you have several examples of people who actually began with really complicated things. And so it really just depends on the person. In my case, I'm like literally like my goal right now, because the thing is I really would love to come from time to time and learn Unity, and my goal literally is just to have be able to make an app where you can touch something and it triggers an animation. That is for now, that is like my goal, and build up from there.
Yeah.
Because I have the tendency to overcomplicate things, and then there's this
Keep it simple, stupid.
yeah, pretty much. And then this mathematician friend of mine, he was talking one day, and he's like, no, that because Gall's law. And I'm like, what is Gall's law? And he's like, well, it's a mathematic law that states that every complex system spawns from a simple system that works. There is no way that a complex system can just spawn into life and just work. It has to come from a simple system that works. And I'm like, fuck, I should just do that. So I want to do something simple.
Yeah.
And right now it's like, for example, next Friday I'm gonna be in Alicante. This month is a bit complicated because with my wife we're like, we want to have children.
Oh, cool.
And so we went through all the process of getting my eggs and blah blah blah. And well, no, we got married, so the paperwork is not a thing.
Yeah, you got married, but
like,
you still need the paperwork to. But
no.
No.
Not at all.
Okay, cool.
Nope. And actually, and our doctor, he's amazing. He's he's married to a guy, and he has a little girl.
Okay.
And we were like, yeah, so it should be okay. We got married, like we're both the parents, and so we can do the. It's called Método Ropa, where I'm donating an egg.
Okay.
It's fertilized, and then Maria is the one who is gestating, right? Yeah.
Okay, cool. So it's a
exactly.
shared labor.
It's amazing.
Well,
and
she has like the bigger job.
She definitely has a bigger job. And so the things that we had read, that it's not legal for two women to do that if they're not married.
Okay.
And so we went like, hey, we heard that it's not legal. And he's like, what? Comment ça c'est pas légal? Écoutez, c'est de la discrimination parce que là, non, il est pas, il est colombien.
Okay, cool. Mais il est in Valencia.
Il est non, il est en Alicante.
Oh, okay.
That's why it also takes a lot of time to go there and stuff.
Yeah.
Et le mec genre, non mais comment ça c'est pas légal? Ici, s'il y a un mec qui vient avec sa copine et me dit, ouais, c'est ma copine, on veut avoir un enfant, bah moi je lui fais leur enfant. Mais comment ça, deux femmes peuvent pas venir ici me dire la même chose? Non, c'est pas vrai. Et si ça arrive, bah on va voir le juge.
Trop bien.
Non, parce que, le mec il est génial. Et en fait le mec, parce que genre moi je me suis mariée avec mon mec parce que le mec il est colombien mais il a étudié en Allemagne. Et le mec c'est genre l'un des meilleurs, il y a des gens partout qui le cherchent. Mais il est tombé amoureux d'un espagnol et du coup il est venu vivre en Alicante avec lui.
Cool.
Et le c'est toi s'il te plaît. Et le truc et le truc c'est que le mec, donc il vient ici, il se marie, mais c'est une meuf du PP qui les a mariés, une mère du PP. Le PP c'est le pouvoir populaire, mais c'est les droites, c'est les mecs de droite qui sont anti-mariage gay et tout ça. Et genre la meuf apparemment il avait genre fait une tête et tout, genre ouais je vous déclare, tu vois, genre mais tu dois le faire connasse parce que c'est la loi, tu vois.
Exactement.
Bah tu sais ce qu'il a reçu le mec? Bah dans son certificat de mariage il les a déclarés mari et femme, et c'est lui la femme.
Wow.
Et le mec c'est genre je suis pas d'accord mais bon.
Intéressant.
Ah ouais mais laisse tomber. Attends, et dans le certificat de mariage de ma femme et moi,
alors?
même pas, genre thank God, c'est écrit Doña y Doña.
Ah cool.
Madame et madame.
So vous avez eu quelqu'un de gauche?
Possiblement. En tout cas, c'était un petit vieux super sympa, donc
voilà,
moi je vais pas me plaindre. Mais tu vois, mais c'est là genre putain de merde. Et
c'est drôle. Mais tu vois, juste cette histoire.
Oh, non.
Tu fais un perso qui raconte cette histoire. Tu sais,
Ah oui, pour populer un univers, ah ouais, c'est clair.
c'est ce genre de choses que je veux
Bien
en
sûr.
plus. Enfin, en plus, il y a beaucoup d'histoires, enfin, de personnages LGBT, il y a des gay flags de partout. Donc, je veux que ce soit un peu une.
Il y a un gros gay flag avec the wheel of
Mais oui.
the London
Oui,
Eye.
exactement. T'as vu ça? Mais donc, parce que justement, il y a beaucoup de persos, de NPC qui sont queer. Je
Ouais.
veux que ce soit une sorte de repository de queer stories.
Ouais.
Ce genre de choses. Et c'est le fun. Puis en plus, tu pourrais avoir ton perso, ta femme, et chacun fait la voix. Tu sais?
Ouais,
Parce
c'est
que
cool.
ça aussi, c'est le côté acting, tu sais, voice acting, c'est super cool. C'est juste qu'il n'y a pas beaucoup de. Enfin, il y a des opportunités, oui, quand tu es acteur, etc. Mais quand tu es un gamin, quand mes gamins, moi, ils me faisaient leur voix pour leur perso, ils adoraient ça.
Ah oui.
C'est super cool, ils adorent, c'est comme puis ils essayent, ils écrivent un peu de dialogue. Et la fois d'après, ils font quelques lignes de plus, ils réenregistrent, etc.
Et ça sert à quoi ces trucs-là?
Ah, c'est le parc-mètre. C'est juste que ça.
Ah, c'était pas. Parce que moi, je suis genre, oh putain, il y a
Dans
peut-être
l'autre
un
sens.
quest avec ça et
Non,
tout.
dans l'autre sens.
Ah, zut. Moi, je me disais,
Mais-
ça doit être un truc et tout.
Pourquoi pas? Enfin,
Parce que, en fait, c'est le truc qui a le vert néon.
ouais.
It's like, this is a
Mais
quest,
c'est-
isn't it?
Tu vois, là, il y a du orange, il y a du bleu. Fait que
Ouais.
ça, c'est juste une texture que j'ai mis sur des assets, histoire de dire.
Ah, ok,
regarde,
ok.
de la lumière, mais oui. Mais
Ouais,
ça, c'est.
ouais.
C'est du
Ouais.
détail. Mais je comprends
Ah,
que
c'est
ça
cool.
attire l'œil.
Ça attire, mais vachement, hein.
Ouais. Mais
Mais-
justement, il y aura peut-être quelque chose à bidouiller avec ça en termes de gameplay.
Ouais. C'est
Mais
clair.
pour l'instant, c'est
Ça,
vraiment.
c'est
C'était le.
c'est une voiture, ça? C'est quoi? Ah non, c'est
Non,
un
c'est le passage piéton.
passage piéton.
Ouais. Ça,
Mais
c'est-
non,
tu vois,
non,
c'est-
mais c'est franchement, mais c'est hyper grand ton truc.
Et là, c'est juste LA. Montréal, c'est beaucoup plus développé. C'est les mêmes assets,
Ah
mais
ouais?
il y a beaucoup plus.
Tu peux visiter Montréal un petit peu? Ou ça va être, Si tu veux, arrête de streamer comme ça,
Ouais, je peux te montrer.
Tu veux le montrer? Ou sinon un autre jour, t'inquiète.
Ouais, en
Ouais.
plus, si t'as pas beaucoup de temps.
Ouais. Non, mais de toute façon, franchement, enfin, je kiffe parce que du coup, tu vois ce qu'on peut faire sur Unity à niveau 3D, parce que tout le monde qui fait de la 3D part à Unreal, tu vois. Il y a beaucoup qui partent direct Unreal, hein.
Pas forcément.
Non?
Non, moi.
Bah, il y a quoi comme jeu 3D qui a été fait en...
Je veux que je te sorte la liste.
Ouais. Ah, je sais qu'il y en a, mais... Enfin, je sais pas, genre... Je sais pas.
Je les connais pas tous, mais il y en a des tonnes.
Ah ben,
Il y avait Ukulele.
What? Non, c'est pas comme ça que tu me... que tu...
3D Games.
Made in Unity. I know that there's some known ones.
Oh yeah, of course. Pokémon Go.
Ça, c'est vrai. Oui, mais Pokémon Go... Ouais, en plus, c'est le truc...
Rust,
c'est le truc de
Ori,
géotag
Monument
et
Valley,
tout. Comment marche Pokémon Go?
Hearthstone, Hollow Knight,
Hollow Knight, but Hollow Knight, all of those are 2D games.
Subnautica,
Subnautica was made in Unity?
Rimworld, Pillars of Eternity,
Pillars of Eternity. Oui, mais Pillars of Eternity is not a 3D game.
Shadowrun's Returns. Well, it's a 3D game, but it's just a 2D.
C'est isométrique, mais
view.
mais c'est pas
It's 3D
3D.
assets.
Enfin, mais c'est pas un FPS. Subnautica, je te crois plus.
Untitled Goose,
Oh,
Fall Guys.
oui, Untitled Goose, mais
Ouais.
c'est pas.
Tous les gens que je te dis, t'es comme oui, mais.
Mais oui, mais en fait, c'est un type de jeu 3D.
Overcooked.
Ouais, je
En fait,
sais.
like, tu veux.
You know what?
Genshin Impact?
J'ai jamais joué à
Moi
Genshin
non
Impact.
plus, mais.
Non, mais tu sais, c'est drôle parce que,
Parce que c'est un type de jeu.
Overcooked, je le joue tous les jours parce que...
Assassin's Creed Identity. Don't know what that is.
I don't know what that one is.
Euh,
Overcooked.
12 minutes.
Non, non.
Overcooked, c'est cool, mais il faut.
Bah, le truc avec Overcooked, c'est que, like, literally
Westland
is my way of bonding with my sister.
Ok.
So we play every week.
C'est vraiment un jeu super cool pour améliorer la communication.
Ouais, c'est clair.
Stress management.
Non, stress management, franchement,
C'est
là,
le
là
challenge.
j'ai failli perdre un ami, hein, je te jure.
C'est ça le challenge.
Ah, je te jure, c'est
C'est
genre...
comme, ok, reste
Léo,
calme, il reste 20
arrête.
secondes.
Ouais, et du coup, genre, on y a tellement joué, parce qu'on joue avec ma soeur, on joue avec ma femme et on joue avec un ami. Et littéral, genre, on est à Platinum, quoi. C'est genre, on essaie de
Ouais.
prendre tous les étoiles.
Mais c'est un super. Tu vois, jouer à
juste des jeux comme ça, en mode découvrir, comprendre un peu comment la 3D, juste tester les contrôles, parler de ce genre de choses,
Ouais.
et en même temps avoir du fun avec les gamins de Dungeons et Dragons, ce genre de choses.
Mhm.
Avoir ce côté un peu playful, playtest, avoir des indie games développés ici en mode viens tester pour faire. Parce que le test, enfin, il y en a. Si tu peux avoir du playtest de gens qui connaissent pas le jeu, c'est super valuable pour un développeur. Donc c'est découvrir les jeux, c'est un côté commercial, c'est un côté développement. Il y a plein de perks de créer ce genre de petit event
Hmm. The Outer
autour
Wilds.
du. Hein?
The Outer Wilds, ça me dit quelque chose.
C'est le jeu qui est en loop, où tu es dans l'espace et il faut que tu découvres qu'est-ce qui s'est passé avec la civilisation qui a disparu.
What?
Enfin,
C'est
je crois.
ça?
Ouais, c'est ça. Ça, et j'y ai pas joué, mais j'aimerais beaucoup parce que vu que moi, il y a un time loop aussi dans le jeu, je suis curieux de savoir, d'avoir une expérience. Mais donc, playtester ça, playtester Gothic, le jeu de Juan, là, dont Juan me parlait. Ce serait super cool
Outer
pour
Wilds.
découvrir en mode découverte de jeux que les autres aiment. C'est comme ton Karate Kid. Découvrir ce que les autres, sur quoi les autres tripent et pourquoi. Tu sais, tu fais une découverte de 3 jeux dans l'après-midi, en mode playtest, en mode chat de développement, de ci, de ça. Ça peut être un truc super valuable pour tout le monde. Et en même temps, si tu fais une chaîne YouTube qui parle de ça, les gens qui veulent s'amuser à découvrir un peu le first impression de gens random, ça peut être un super truc à mettre en place. Et vu qu'il n'y a pas de contenu locaux, en plus si tu le fais en espagnol,
Warning, do not look anything up about this game. Play blind.
exactly,
Alright.
like
Okay.
just having that.
This is the Montreal?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
More like it. Oh
Oh,
my
dear.
god.
Like, normally you play it on your PC?
Well, when it's streaming, it's taking a lot. But like, I think like there's the glitch bar. Like you have like 12-ish computers. I'd like to do something with them to get the gaming community because they have computers, but they also have a lot of tabletop games. And getting I guess that's why the kids from Dungeon and Dragon don't go there. It's because it's a bar. The parents probably don't want them to go there.
Yeah.
But having a group from Glitch Bar to come and play here and develop something, like the vampire show or whatever, could be really cool.
No, don't go.
And on the computers that they have, it's running super well. I saw that on a MacBook from 3 years ago, it's a bit laggy now. So, je sais pas si t'as joué à... C'était quoi? C'était Morrowind? Non, c'était Oblivion. Oblivion, t'as une sorte de jeu avec les dialogues. Tu sais, tu te souviens de la petite wheel?
Oh. I'm sorry.
I
I'm
know.
one of those that I'm like, fuck you.
Well, yeah, but like this dialogue for people in the street is kind of what I'm trying to recreate. Because when you actually have those people being generated randomly, they actually have like a kind of political spectrum. So they are more neutral, right, left.
Yeah.
They have a kind of queer spectrum, so they could be straight, or gay, or bi, or whatever. And based on those few variables, I want the dialogues to be a mini game of how do I kind of not seduce, but like make them friendly enough so they don't run away from it, so I can feed on them as a vampire. So it's kind of the mini game to be able to feed.
Ouais.
You know what I mean?
Oh, c'est pas mal.
Yeah.
Enfin, je me demande comment ça va marcher parce que ça a l'air un peu
Et
plus
donc,
difficile
si tu
de...
parles à quelqu'un qui est conservateur et que tu lui dis, tu sais, t'es un peu trop casual, ils vont dire, regarde, j'ai pas le temps là, va-t'en, tu sais.
Ouais.
Et donc, ton feed success sera moins important.
Ah, d'accord.
Donc, ça, c'est un peu le mini-game parce que vu que tu utilises là, t'as pas encore bidouillé avec, mais quand tu fais ton premier choix dans le dialogue principal, enfin de la première quête, tu as deux choix qui définissent ton clan. Ce clan définit tes pouvoirs et définit, il y a un filter qui se rajoute qui a une couleur différente. Et based aussi sur ce filter, en fait, ça va changer ta perception du niveau.
D'accord.
Ça, c'est encore un autre truc, tu vas pas comprendre comme ça, il faut que tu le vois, il faut que tu le testes un petit peu pour comprendre.
D'accord.
Mais le but, c'est qu'en fonction des choix que tu fais, tu as des pouvoirs différents et donc tu vas interagir avec le niveau différemment. Donc, basé un peu sur le jeu de rôle, tu as physical stats, mental and social. Donc, dépendamment des choix que tu fais dans le dialogue, tu vas avoir une capacité soit à avoir tes stats physiques améliorées, soit tes stats mentales, soit tes stats sociales. Et donc, ton gameplay est différent et ta perception va être différente à cause de ce filtre-là. Par exemple, parce que c'est un filtre de couleur principalement. Et donc, si tu as un filtre rouge, il y a des trucs qui vont être plus facilement visibles que si tu as un filtre bleu.
Ouais, non, ok.
Et donc, même ta perception en tant que joueur du niveau, tu vas passer peut-être 3 fois devant un truc si tu n'as pas le filtre qui vient avec tel clan qui est jaune, et ben tu vas peut-être pas le voir. Et ça, ça, il y a le côté visuel, mais il y a aussi le côté quasiment si tu n'as pas le bon filtre, le game object va être désactivé.
D'accord.
Donc tu n'auras pas accès seulement si tu as le bon filtre.
Mhm.
Et donc...
Non, mais c'est le genre de mécanique, c'est assez... Je pense que ça doit être difficile à implémenter, mais qu'une fois que tu le fais, ça s'explique tout seul.
Ouais.
Non?
Ben c'est... J'ai testé quelques trucs. Like there's a few features that I'm trying out and I'm seeing if it works. And even in the level design, because the physical powers and stuff allow you to jump higher or to break some specific windows. And so when you have that power activated, you have access to other places that if you don't have that power, you can't access at all.
Okay.
And so just the way it's all kind of linked. The powers, the perception through the filter, and the way the level design is done would give you a completely different experience. There's one of them is actually kind of reducing the damage that the sun is doing to you as a vampire. So if you're outside and it's daytime, you have that power and you activate it, you actually have more time to actually cross the street and stuff like that. So it changes the way you interact with the level.
Okay.
And even the dialogues and the people. Because if you have the social powers and you actually activate them, one of them is actually allowing you...
Are they dancing?
Yeah.
Oh, there's someone there. I'm going to follow them. What you doing?
Oh, it's so slow.
Yeah,
And so,
I
yeah,
imagine.
like with the social powers, you can actually use, like, talk to animals. That could actually unlock some doors and stuff.
Oh my god.
So you kind of convince them, like in Vampire Bloodlines, you can actually command, like, give orders to people or whatever through the powers and stuff. And so I'm kind of doing that as well with animals. So you can, like, if there's like a cat, and you tell him, climb on that freaking ladder to unlock it, and so I can then access it.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff like that.
Okay.
So it kind of replaces the fact that you can jump higher with the physical powers, but it's a different way to implement and have access with those two through that way. But for example, the mental stat would actually not allow you to do that. So it's now like finding a good in between the powers you have and the different ways to use them to actually access different places and
Okay.
even items and stuff.
Okay.
It's complex. There's a lot going on with the design of the mechanics and all that, so that's why it's taking so much time. Between the story, the gameplay, just building up the assets, the levels. But I have plenty of time, and I prefer to actually have fun doing it than, yeah,
Mm.
trying to.
It is a very ambitious
I know,
project.
but
Ooh.
like like
Ooh,
it's
this
like
nice. This water's nice.
more than the other one.
I like this one
Because
better.
it's-
Yeah.
Okay. Because I've been playing with the other one in LA. It's like a different shader.
Yeah.
What is that? Oh, okay.
What happened?
Oh, it's just floating in the air.
Oh.
What's going on? Yeah, there's okay. So it's, but that's the thing. Like because I'm doing so many changes all the time.
Oh,
and
you're
I'm doing a new
breaking
build.
stiff.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's something.
shit.
But that's why the playtests are for.
Yeah.
Seeing if everything works. Oh shit, that prefab has completely changed. And in that setup, like sometimes I don't go to some specific levels for a while, and I'm changing some prefabs, and I'm like, oh shit, I haven't been in that place for like 3 months, and that doesn't work anymore. So I need to go back and tweak with the new assets. Yeah, but that's what is fun.
Okay. Well, we have really different concepts of what is fun.
Well, I've always said it's more fun to build the game than to play the game.
Actually, I was gonna ask you, like, are you playing any game right now? Like,
Not really.
the fuck?
Like I do for when I have the chance and the time and the motivation. Like I did, what was it? King's Quest on Xbox that got released nearly 10 years ago now. And I played it last week.
Right.
And I was like, interesting. Like I like to, but that's why playtesting some other games
Yeah.
would be cool. It's just that, especially if we can do it as a
It-
gathering, a show.
It's
and
funny because
and
you're
would you
much
need-
you're much more about the community building than and the world building than
Yeah,
the enjoying of the world.
yeah.
You're like a game master. You know?
Oh, I would not call myself that.
No, but what I mean, like in role playing games,
Yeah,
you have people that are always the game master because no one wants to be the game master.
I'm really struggling with that. My brain doesn't work.
It's
for that.
like
even
they're
as a player, I'm really
Yeah.
struggling. But that's why I want to do it more as well, so I get
Mm.
better.
mm,
And because I feel the tabletop RPG game could be a fun way to build up stories as well.
Oh,
and
yeah,
all that.
totally.
So it's kind of writing without even thinking about it.
mm.
So you play for 2-3 hours. I don't want to play the whole night. I don't have time.
No.
The
I'm
stamina
at
for
when
that.
I used to play role playing
hours, it
games
should
is
be
2-3
like-
hours
Wrap it up.
totally like the story's
I
a
need a
little
drink at some
bit
point.
yeah the story's a little bit more a little bit longer. Okay, let's do two hour sessions
Yeah.
or 2-3 hour sessions and that's the type of thing. People that play campaigns for no, I can't
I
do
prefer
it.
to do that like 3 hours as a Friday night. It's social.
Yeah.
We play. It's creative.
Mm-hmm.
3 hours
Mhm.
and then we go out for a drink. But
Yeah.
I don't want to spend the whole night. Like I prefer to do it regularly, but shorter
Mm-hmm.
than once a month. But like we go there for 12 hours. No.
No,
I
it
can't.
doesn't work for me
Yeah.
either. No.
But that's right. I think that maybe like once, if one at some point is has some extra time connecting with the Dungeons and Dragons, like
Mhm.
that could be a cool thing to set up as well as
Yeah.
part of the community building. Get people to come and mixing
Yeah.
all that to create
Yeah.
and use those times to do the communication, the show, like the YouTube channel. That would be
Mm.
so cool.
Mm.
And like just talking about that for like an hour with you, and my brain is like, but that's what is fun.
It is fun, but the thing in my case is that I am like that as well, and I tend to just diverge, It's like, and then I don't get anything done, and so I'm trying to discipline myself to finish what I start.
I do agree.
Like
but
to
that's why
simplify
an
and
afternoon,
finish
a
first.
week is kind of good enough,
Mm.
and it might actually unlock you on some stuff that you've
Mm.
been like bashing your head on the wall for. Like
Yeah, I know what you mean.
maybe talking with one or the kids from Dungeons and Dragons would shit, why can I do that this way?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
that's get shit done during the week,
Mhm.
but then especially on a Friday afternoon, time to relax, do some play
Yeah.
tests, socialize, blah blah blah, and
Yeah.
and actually you have the weekend to do nothing, and then on Monday you have had time to think about it. Like that gap where you actually don't think about it too much, don't do too much, is really important. Like I can't spend more than an hour working or playing. I need my brain to wander. I need to go get some sun, to get to the beach. I'm not the regular geek that spends hours in the mom's basement.
Ouais, mais je vois ce que tu dis.
Sport, I need to go
mais
get
c'est
a
ta
beer.
façon, c'est ta façon de faire.
Ouais, exactement. Mais cette diversité, c'est ça que j'aime. Soit dans le développement, et puis même au niveau du jeu. I can't play for hours anymore. I used to when I was a teenager, but now I need...
Yeah, now it's like 3 hours and I'm like, that's enough. No, I know what you mean. And also that, like, I need some other things. Like, right now, tu vois, je suis un peu frustrée parce que là, pour le mois de mai, ça va être chaud parce que, en fait, il y a deux trucs qui me bouffent pas mal de temps en ce moment. D'un côté, c'est le... il y a trois trucs, en fait. D'un côté, c'est les voyages à Alicante pour les échographies et tout ça. D'un autre côté, il faut absolument que je finisse au moins 3 pièces pour la fin du mois parce que je participe à Roussafart, nanana. Et ensuite j'ai l'entreprise pour laquelle je travaille, moi je faisais les ressources humaines. Et maintenant je fais du télétravail un peu par semaine, mais le truc c'est que là on a un gros problème avec une fille qui nous... Et là, il y a une possibilité, et je te jure ça m'arrache la gueule de le faire parce que ça me saoule. Peut-être aller devant le juge, comparaître. Et il va falloir que j'aille à Paris, que j'aille ici. Et c'est possible qu'il y ait...
Et ça fait partie du... Tu sais, c'est comme Drag Race. Drag Race, tu sais, il n'y a pas le main judge cette semaine parce qu'il a un autre show. Le truc, c'est d'avoir une petite équipe qui permet de rouler. Même, on a tous des obligations à droite à gauche, que ce soit personnel ou avec d'autres trucs professionnels. Mais d'avoir 5, 6, 10 personnes où on peut shifter, mais quand même avoir un mini-groupe régulier, c'est ça qui créerait cette inertie.
Ouais, en fait, le problème, c'est pour moi en ce moment, c'est ça le problème, la régularité, où j'ai pas la possibilité en ce moment de te dire oui, je serai disponible. C'est par exemple aujourd'hui, hier, je devais finir les tests. Ça a couillé parce que j'ai mal coupé des trucs, j'ai dû le refaire et du coup je pouvais pas venir aujourd'hui à l'après-midi. Je me dis non, je vais y aller le matin.
Pourquoi tu n'es pas venu?
Tu vois,
compliqué au niveau logistique.
C'est-à-dire l'après-midi, tu veux dire?
Non, mais en plus tu as tout ton truc. Mais ça c'est normal, ça fait partie du... Je comprends.
Ouais. Mais donc du coup, en tout cas, moi de ce côté-là, je pense que je vais finir mes trucs urgents. Et moi je veux juste, tu vois, venir... Je peux pas faire partie de l'équipe percée. Non. Enfin, parce que je peux pas m'engager, tu vois.
Il n'y a pas d'engagement, faut le faire pour venir partager. C'est pas partager le temps pour faire tes choses. Le but, il n'y a pas le contenu, entre guillemets, la communauté, elle se construit avec juste cette volonté de travailler au même endroit, au même moment, c'est tout.
Ouais, je comprends. Enfin, de ce côté-là,
quand c'est possible.
Non, je comprends, mais en fait, c'est ça que j'avais retrouvé à Curiosivot, c'est ça que j'aimais bien, tu vois, parce que Juan était là, et maintenant Elia est là, et du coup, moi, Juan, il m'a aidé. Genre, la première app que j'ai faite ici, c'était un monstre d'1m20 par 90 cm, je pouvais pas le faire toute seule, c'est Juan qui m'a aidé à le faire. Et c'est Juan qui m'a... Et c'est ça que j'ai retrouvé à Curiosivot. Et c'est cool que ça commence à se construire ici. Et moi, j'ai toujours voulu... moi, j'aime beaucoup rencontrer de nouvelles personnes. Les conversations, la mini-conversation qu'on a eue là, c'est génial. Donc oui, il n'y a pas de problème.
Mais c'est pour ça qu'en plus d'avoir un peu les deux places, c'est pareil, moi, Curiosivot, je suis à côté, donc je préférerais quasiment être là-bas. Parce qu'il y a aussi des machines, tu sais, mais partager justement le côté un peu plus manufacture, production de pièces 3D. Je sais pas s'ils ont une brodeuse numérique, ce genre de choses, mais le côté un peu costume et le côté un peu design, playtest, utiliser la salle pour faire le streaming, ce genre de choses, ça peut être partagé. Hein.
Ouais, c'est clair. Ouais, non, c'est pas le...
On peut faire genre le mercredi après-midi là-bas, le vendredi après-midi ici. Enfin, tu vois, c'est construire ce genre de choses pour que chacun s'y retrouve.
Non, je te comprends. Mais c'est ça, c'est peu à peu, je pense, Il y a un truc. Ça fait combien de temps que cet endroit il est là?
Elle a ouvert juin dernier.
Ah ouais, c'est tout récent, ouais.
Et c'est pour ça, elle a, tu sais, elle a, comment dire, elle est très, le fait qu'elle est très ouverte sur plein de choses parce qu'elle veut que l'espace y vive, etc. Donc tu utilises, tu sais, le fait que j'ai aménagé, là en 2 semaines, j'ai changé toute cette salle, tu sais, et puis elle est comme, oh ouais, c'est super, tu sais, elle est super, comment dire, open sur les idées. Et elle veut que les choses s'améliorent. Donc moi qui ai besoin de ci pour ça, hein, si tu n'arrives même pas comment dire, à mettre en place les choses pour que
clair.
1 ou 2 membres puissent l'utiliser, finalement, si ça sert à personne,
je vois ce que tu veux dire.
ça
Tu vois,
sert à rien,
c'est
quoi.
ça, c'est pareil. Je suis de la même école. C'est un micro, ça?
Oui, t'en as 2.
Ouh, ouais.
Parce qu'elle veut faire justement,
La salle de podcast, ouais.
j'ai créé sa chaîne YouTube, parce qu'elle veut, le truc c'est, en plus maintenant, Google Podcast is being retired, et donc c'est directement à partir de YouTube, tu fais une playlist et tu dis ça va être un podcast, et c'est transféré directement en mode sur YouTube Music.
Ouais.
Quoi?
Non, mais en fait, c'est que ça me saoule. Moi, j'avais Google Stadia, tu vois.
Oh, lo siento.
Oh,
are you recording?
No. We're just
Join
reading.
the conversation.
So this room is
Moi, je jouais vachement sur Google Stadia.
Ok, ouais, ça aussi, moi, ça me fait chier parce que je pense qu'il y avait beaucoup de potentiel, mais le truc, c'est que soit ils créent des choses cool et après, c'est d'autres compagnies qui prennent le relais, comme GeForce Now, etc. Donc, moi aussi, ça me fait chier. T'avais le contrôleur?
Moi, non, j'avais pas le contrôleur, j'avais juste le service et j'étais en train de jouer Cyberpunk 77,
Ouais, ok.
Assassin's Creed machin, j'avais plein de... Et le truc, et tu vois, ça me saoule parce que Google, par exemple, il y a des trucs sur lesquels je dépends complètement de Google, tu vois,
Moi
genre
aussi.
Gmail, le Work Suite, machin.
Pareil.
Et ensuite, j'ai du mal à m'engager avec Google sur leurs nouveaux projets parce que du jour au lendemain, littéral, du jour au lendemain, les mecs, j'ai tout à la poubelle, tu vois.
Je pense que Stadia c'était une façon, je pense que c'était un tech démo. C'est possible, mais je pense que le marché n'était pas mature, il n'y avait pas les connexions assez rapides à l'époque. Et en termes d'infrastructure, ils se sont dit, ok, on a montré que c'était possible. GeForce Now, Xbox, maintenant le fait en remote, etc.
Ouais.
Donc, ça a donné puis c'est pas leur cœur de métier.
Non,
Google ne fait pas du jeu vidéo, donc ils ont mis le truc en place. C'était une façon pour Unity de mettre en place leur online platform, build, etc. Donc je trouve ça bien que eux prennent le temps et l'argent de montrer que c'est possible. Ok, on a fait le tech démo là, maintenant on va laisser les tierces parties faire vraiment créer le ongoing, more customer-based service.
C'est clair.
Mais je suis d'accord aussi que le Stadia, ils auraient pu le garder, quoi.
Ouais, c'est clair.
Mais je pense que c'était trop à gérer pour eux en mode business.
C'était pas
Parce
faisable.
que en plus, le jeu vidéo, c'est tellement une industrie complètement différente. Enfin, il y a tout le côté créatif, infrastructure.
Mais alors, on revient au même problème. Ils veulent un petit peu se mouiller les pieds sur d'autres industries, mais le problème va toujours être le même.
Après, ça dépend. Ils font le test et ils voient si ça marche ou pas et si ça fait du sens business-wise. Ça fait du sens pour eux. C'est comme à un moment donné, tu avais Google Wave. Tu avais du lien avec Google Wave?
Non. C'était quoi?
C'était une sorte de chat où tu pouvais faire plein de choses.
Oui.
Mais c'était il y a longtemps, c'était il y a 10 ans.
Oui, mais ça a duré 3 mois, quoi, ce truc.
Mais c'était un tech démo et en fait, ils ont construit.
Ouais, je me rappelle. Ouais.
Ils ont construit tout le.
C'était 2015, un truc comme ça.
Même avant, je crois. Ils ont construit tout le côté multi, auto-editing pour les Google Docs, etc. Ils ont repris ça, mais ils l'ont intégré à leur truc. Et donc, tu pouvais écrire, enfin, chacun pouvait participer au chat en même temps. Et c'est maintenant, ça a été intégré.
Ça fait partie de Google Docs.
dans
c'est ça.
Google Plus.
Google Plus, oui.
maintenant, en fait, ils étaient. Ok,
On
on
va
a
faire un
manqué un
réseau
peu
social,
le côté
ouais.
réseau social. Ils avaient Orkut, ils avaient plusieurs trucs. Ils ont évolué. Maintenant, c'est intégré dans les produits, dans le YouTube, dans
Ouais.
le Google Maps, etc. En fait, ils testent si le produit marche et est bien
Ouais.
accepté. Et s'ils voient que, en fait, ben non, il n'y a pas une bonne acceptation, et ben on le désintègre et on réintègre les parties
qui
font
ont
du
marché pour améliorer nos
sens,
produits
même
qui
si
marchent.
c'est en back-end.
Ouais,
On a notre tête d'affiche en mode produit, Google Maps,
make
Google,
sense.
YouTube, blablabla, et on injecte
Ouais.
ces features.
It makes sense, but image-wise, it's really weird as a strategy because
That's what
their
people-
clients are gonna go
Yeah.
like, is this like one of your little hobbies, or is this something that I can invest myself on?
But they understood that, and they are being more careful about that now. But because they have that kind of suit, and even 365 or 360, I can't, like the Microsoft Windows Office, they have copied that. But you need to do all those tests.
Mais c'est ça, le truc que je comprends pas. C'est genre, you can have like they have Google Labs or something like that, where they play, they don't have them anymore, where you want to try shit, then try it there, and everybody knows that it's
But then
just
it's
an
like,
experiment.
But they do, like, even because you had Orkut, you had the Google RSS feeder, reader. And so they just try to merge it into more full-fledged products that people, so they kind of migrate their user base to make this product more branded and more with better technologies, because you don't see it, but like the RSS reader was probably based on some old technologies, and so we have the RSS reader, we have Orkut, we have this, and we have this new one which is integrating more recent web JavaScript pipeline. So we try to migrate all that user base into this new product that makes more sense and that is easier to update, and it's like Facebook now stuck with PHP forever. and they're like, we can't change that so much because it's integral part of the piece of software.
Yeah. That's
But that's anyway. Facebook is another. But even that nerdy talk, like, it's really cool to decorticate the branding because it's marketing, it's business, it's so many things together.
Yeah.
And just talking about that is really, I find that super interesting because it's how do you analyze those big companies to actually learn from their mistakes so you don't do those mistakes yourself for what you're building. So just understanding and analyzing all that is a great way to learn. Like we were talking about, you learn by doing and stuff, but that's why learn and do in a bubble when you can actually build up something that is linked to the world, like build a game, build a community, teach, get kids from 14 that are 14 years old that do Dungeons and Dragons to actually do more 3D printing, go to CuriosityBot, connect. It's all like once you're 14, 15, everything needs to be applied to business.
Yeah.
Because you're not gonna finish your master in accounting and then you're like, oh shit, I don't know how to work. So if you can get the kids to understand that and learn that from 14, 15 years old and already have their brain and their mind set up to understand business, that's what school doesn't provide.
No, well,
And that's what we need in the world.
School, please teach me how to correctly pay my taxes. Just that. Just explain to me because no, literally, like I've so many fucking times en France. C'est genre, non, cette année c'est une année noire parce que les années noires. Et genre, oui, mais pourquoi j'ai payé 3 000 € de plus en impôts? Ouais, bon, parce que les années noires c'est comme ça. Genre, oui, mais qu'est-ce que c'est? Pourquoi? Enfin, c'est genre.
No, but that's their job, that the government jobs to make it as easier. You want me to pay you? Don't ask me to do a fucking bachelor in accounting, to go through like.
Yeah, but.
It's their job to be more innovative. And
Je suis peut-être un peu cynique, mais moi je me demande est-ce que ça les arrange pas non plus, hein, parce que du coup c'est genre t'as tout un tas de gens qui sont en train de payer pour rien parce que bon ils ont pas bien lu, parce qu'ils ont bien pas compris.
Ça crée de la job, oui. Mais
voilà.
ça c'est capitaliste. Le capitalisme survit